Are you ready? Oh, motherfucker. I always do that. What's up, creepers? And Geekers Chris. The Retro Creep. I almost say Atari Creep. Every time. Ah, I fucked it all up. That squeal sucked. Oh well, whatever. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Television Gamer already in with a big fat hello. What's going on, buddy? Hope everyone's holidays are going fucking rad. Silly season is almost over. I still got my little tree up. It's literally a branch cut off of a Christmas tree with a stocking hanging from it. Last year it was just like a stick, a tiny little stick. And I don't know how many people saw it, but I always do the Charlie Brown Christmas tree thing behind me here. Coming back in from that F chord, it's an E, is always so menacingly evil. What's up, everybody? No games, no nothing today. I just figured for an hour we'd hang out and just, flap our fucking gums about whatever's on anybody's mind. It doesn't have to come from my mind, but before my mind does do its thing, oh my God. The missus is wrapping presents and she's hiding in the bedroom. And she just walked by with a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm over here like, none of those look like Les Pauls! I posted on my Facebook page the other day. This Christmas will be the 50th anniversary of me not getting a gold top Les Paul standard. There's actually one out there, the Mary Ford Les Paul. And I think Trogley has one for sale. Maybe not anymore, but I don't know. It's just got these really cool plastic adornments to it. Maybe I'll pull it up and we'll have a look at it. But the Les Pauls are like $3,000. So actually, that's actually a great introduction to a conversation I didn't even think we were going to have. Hold on. Let me pull up Mary Ford Les Paul here real quick. Mary Ford Les Paul. How do you spell Paul? There we go. There it is. Let me Merry Christmas to the stuff. And let me tell the window, I want you to see the Les Paul. This bad Larry. And if you look, let me do this. If you look like right here, it has that extra little adornment. It's basically just a Les Paul standard. But the pickguard has a fancy little dealio in it. And it's got this extra little fucker right here. Pretty cool stuff. I love the Les Paul no matter what. But it is what it is. Let's go back to our normal bat channel, bat time, and all that crap. All right. What's up, Metal Torso? What's going on, buddy? I'll just do that all day. In fact, I plan on releasing a 97-minute album of just that right there. I threw in an extra chord there. Not on purpose, so I fucked up. I fucked up a 2-chord song. A 90-minute 2-chord song, and I'm going to call it I ain't woke, but I'm still broke. Actually, that's going to be the name of my first album. I actually have an album cover and everything. But I don't have anything to record with, so. There will be no albums from the Creeper. But no, what I was talking about is if you guys remember, I had that piggy bank, right? Actually, let me grab it. Because it's very significant to the channel, and I didn't expect to talk about it. Allow me a moment to put my guitar down. To be fucking wicked professional. So I got this. I haven't really used it in a while. Well, let me put the guitar back on. Or else I will become an entanglement of chords and bullshit. If you remember correctly, we started this roughly 5-6 years ago. God, I don't even know how long. It was to save up the money for my Amico and Savi's workshop down at Galaxy's Edge in Disney. And I'm proud to say that I've acquired both items. One, not quite, conventionally, not the way I anticipated nor wished. But nonetheless, there is an Amico in my home. And I do have my Savi's workshop. So I think, why not live right now, ceremoniously, we will peel this off. And get rid of it. This is the past. And I read something today that says if you carry around bricks from an old house, when you rebuild a house, it's just going to be the same fucking thing, right? So let's get rid of... Oh no, the Amico thing itself is a sticker. Is it really? Did I make a sticker? No. There it is. Gone. And we will print up a new picture of a Les Paul. And you know what? Maybe at the end of the day, I won't buy a Les Paul. But whenever I get a little extra change, which I have been doing again lately, I will contribute that to that. I am also going to, what do you call it? Seal this container. I tried to at one point with hot glue. Oh, I got most of it gone. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some actual epoxy and line the threads with it. I got a little bit of JB weld left. I'm going to screw it on and just leave it be so I can't tap into it. Because I do end up doing that. Sometimes I run out of something and I tap into it. I told her she'd be out here. She told me she wouldn't. There she is. I just used a Sharpie. So you can't read whoever's fucking names on the packages. So it just looks like a blob of black marker. You're all going to have to figure out what your gift, whose gifts is what. What?
Do you want to hear something really funny?
Sure.
I got panicked in there. I thought, oh shit, where the hell did his present go? And I couldn't find it. Then I turned around and I'm like, oh, there it is in plain sight.
Richie Skulls, what's going on, creeps? No, what's going on with you, man? What's going on with you? Just bored today. It's a fucking wicked windy and blustery, rainy day out there. I can hear the wind. It's pretty creepy. I'm enjoying it. I didn't really feel like playing any games or anything. I had mentioned yesterday that sometimes on Fridays I don't stream because it's so close to an appointment as a family we have. But that doesn't happen today until about 5 o'clock. So I figured for an hour or so, then I'm going to run out and grab some groceries. And call it an end of a day. This guitar amazes me every time I play it. It blows my mind how good something this not good can be. The guitar here in question it didn't come looking like this. I did this. It still needs a back plate. I haven't cut one yet for it, and I don't know, the tape is protecting the controls good enough for now. But if you look here, it says Randy Jackson. That's exactly who you think it is. It's the dude from American Idol, the music producer. Hey, dog. That guy. Apparently he teamed up with the Home Shopping Network, or QVC, or whatever it's called. And they came out with these guitars, and you could buy them in a number of finishes. Mine was like a blue with a black burst around the edge of it, and the back of it said "Let Freedom Ring," and had an American flag. It was just a graphic that was pasted to it before the clear coat. And in true form, the back started peeling because of it. And it had like a little gem, a little like weird teal. And it was a square that on the edge. I don't know. It was dumb. And if you look at the fingerboard, it too has the same color and everything. And that's why I chose the colors that are on it. And I found it on Shop Goodwill in a very ugly state of disrepair. And I got it for like $30, a couple bucks shipping to me. And I've had it put together in a number of different orientations and array, but it was just something to do with the body shape. I know to a lot of people it would look just like a regular guitar, but there's just something about the horn layout and the lower bout here that are not typical for some guitars. It actually reminds me of, there's a company called Framus that makes a guitar that's very similar to this. It also reminds me of I think it was called the Cortis. Epiphone made it years ago. I mean, I think they still make them. I think they just recently released them in the last year or so. But they have a very, very similar shape to this. But it was ugly enough to where I hated it enough to want it, And I bought the damn thing. I replaced the bridge with not an expensive one, but a really nice Wilkinson bridge. I don't think it was $30. In fact, I think it was a Christmas birthday gift. I requested that, and that's what I got. This middle pickup came out of an OPV USA I had, and these two were a random gift from our buddy Alex Valentine. It just showed up. He's like, they were on sale. They were on sale. I figured you could use them somewhere. And the ironic thing is around the same time period, he had sent me another pickup that I wanted to use in a specific guitar, and it's in there now. That was made by a company called Seymour Duncan, which is a top tier guitar pickup. Man, that's what these are. They're basically microphones for the guitar pickups. For the purple Telly, I got the Esquire, and these just randomly showed up, and I was just like, I'm confused, because normally when he sends stuff, it's because I said something on here, and he just runs with it. And sometimes that bothers me. Other time it's like, okay, cool. In this case, I was just confused. I'm like, okay, P90 in a humbucker style, I've always been kind of curious about them, but I never really thought to pick them up because I kind of think the look is silly. But the more I'm looking at it in this guitar, especially like on the screen and everything, I think it looks great. I think it works perfect for this guitar. And though I had the other project that I really, really, really wanted to get done, if you remember correctly on that one live stream, we ended up switching over to this and wiring this up and getting it working. And at first I was like, I'm not really happy with it. Mainly because the magnet that's on the bottom of this, its polarity is different than, it doesn't jive with these, so it goes out of phase. And what that ends up happening is the sound drops quite a bit, and it's almost like a nasally sound. And in some cases, that can be good, and you can wire it so it doesn't drop so drastically. In this case, it's just because the polarity of something just does not match, Everything works fine. In fact, because of that, I know everything's working fine. But where they all need magnets in order to function, whether it be a ceramic magnet or an Alnico magnet or a neodymium magnet or, whatever. Neodymiums are not very good for guitar pickups. Very bright and brittle sounding. Some ceramics, especially in hot pickups, really nice, but for single coils, I'm not a big fan. But if the way the magnet's facing, north versus south, basically, if the poles aren't jiving, then you end up with weird sound in betweens. And I'll give you an example here. Here's the bridge pickup, meaning the pickup all the way down here. I'll say bridge, I mean this one. Neck, this one. Obviously the middle's in the middle. And you hit it, it's got a nice, I hope you can hear it. It's got nice punch in the balls, right? And I got some pretty heavy gain on this thing, a lot of distortion. And I don't know if you can hear the hum, but it's a single coil pickup, so it's got a 60 cycle hum. So I can't avoid that without a noise gate, which I do have, oddly enough. I just never use it. In fact, I've never used it. It was meant for another project that probably will never happen. But pretty mighty, pretty beefy, sounds great. And then I'll switch to combining these two. And you'll notice, I'll do it in real time. I'll hit a chord and then hit the switch. It kind of, I mean, you can still hear it. But it has this kind of very lo-fi, very, I don't know, it's a weird sound. But if I go in the middle pickup just comes through just fine. And then I'll do the middle with the neck pickup. Same thing. And I actually like that position with single coils. But in this case, it just sounds like it's being choked out. And then I go back into the neck. And it's beautiful. Beautiful again. So my initial thought was either replacing the pickup. I do have some that have different polarities. And all I have to do is, use a quick magnet or a compass to see what that's at. And I believe these ones were stamped north or south. Excuse me, I got a little something. We just had cheesesteak sandwiches. And I got a little bit of the hot pepper stuck in the back of my 3 teeth. But I thought about replacing the center pickup and then rewiring it just for, normally with a 2 pickup situation, you would do this combined and then this. And I was going to leave that in here for aesthetics, the middle pickup, and then put a 3-way switch, which I do have. But then I said, you know what? No. I'm not going to change a damn thing on this electrically, because even though I can't combine the 2 pickups, and I can put a quick switch in there, it's called a Gilmore mod, because on a Stratocaster, typically you can't get the neck and the bridge pickup together. It's either the bridge and middle and neck, and the neck. But he puts a switch on his where he can introduce the neck pickup in any scenario. So now you have 2 more selections. You have neck and bridge, which you normally wouldn't have. And then in theory, all 3 pickups. If you put it in the second position, which would typically be bridge and middle, then you can hit the switch and the neck pickup will engage and you'll have all 3, which in some cases sounds good with the volume down a little bit and a little bit of modulation. So in theory, I could just do that, quick little 2-way switch, which I got plenty of them here, drill a little hole, and it literally just goes from the switch to the jack. Simple mod, and it gives you 2 more possibilities, and it's good stuff. And the reason it's called a Gilmore switch is because David Gilmour made it famous from Pink Floyd. So I'm thinking about actually introducing that in there. But even with the cheap electronics that are in here and the way it's set up, it sounds so amazing. And I guess the reason I'm even talking about that is because I didn't know these pickups were coming. I never thought to ever buy them. I had no idea what I was going to do with them. And they kind of bothered me for like a week. And then I said one day, you know what? I'm just going to cut this pickguard to fit them. And then eventually someday get it going. And I was forced to because the project we were working on just wasn't working. It wasn't working. So I fucking threw it all together, and I've been playing this thing nonstop since. It is such a monster of a guitar. It's a guitar that doesn't just sound good. It sounds like it feels. And I don't know if that comes across in any way but weird. But you don't hear good sounds coming from this. You hear great feelings coming from this. Whether it's sad, or whether it's happy, or whether it's just me literally just doing my 90-minute... Oh, we changed the pickup. And they're clear. You can hear every note when I'm strumming chords. It was just a really nice surprise, and I can't thank Alex enough for these, because at first I was like, the fuck am I going to do with these? I have other guitar pickups that I've had for years that haven't gone in anything yet. But I fucking slapped these cocksuckers in here, and you know what? I would put this against any big dollar guitar out there. I have it set up to where it plays amazing, I do need to do some fret work on this or replace the neck. There are some dead areas on the fretboard that I've been able to adjust the truss rod in some, but it's only on like this one little area, a couple of notes here and there. Basically, two of the frets are a little too high. So I have to either level and crown them again or just replace them altogether. I might replace them. But I don't want to do that because the guitar is perfect as it is except for that one little thing, But I don't think QVC or the shopping network or whichever place it was sold these for $150 with the little amp and the strap and the cord and all kinds of silly stuff, Your typical starter guitar pack that frustrates your kid because it's not set up, and people don't understand that even with expensive guitars that you could get lucky and be able to just play it as is, and a lot of times you can. But almost every guitar, including and especially import guitars that are cheap, one of the things they cheap out on is setting it up. They literally put it together, make sure it works, and out the door it goes. And then from there, there's a lot of little nuances to the height of the strings, the radius of the saddles, because each individual saddle can be set up to be at its own height, forwards and backwards, which is the intonation of it, whether or not it plays in tune throughout the whole neck. The height of the nut, which I absolutely have to replace. Don't get any ideas, Alex. I'm not telling you what the millimeter is. I'm not telling you what the size is. But I will be replacing that with a bone, probably either a Graphtec or a bone. And I think that's it, man. I replaced the bridge, because I think the bridge that came on it was missing saddles, which I had plenty of, but they're all cheap and gross, Cheap stuff. This has a nice solid block underneath there for some sustain. The saddles on them are bent steel instead of cast. It's really good stuff. And let's get your traditional setup. I was actually going to redo it all just so I could have just these pickups playing, but it sounds too good for me to fuck with it. So I'm going to let the universe, what the universe made me do here, I'm going to let it stick. Because I'm afraid even if I change the potentiometers or the switch, that it's going to change everything. I fucking hate that about guitars. So I'm just going to leave it as is, and we're going to improve its playability and feel over time. Its feel is amazing. But if I change the playability on the neck and stuff, it's a beefy neck too. It's got a lot of thickness to it. That's another way they save money. They don't do a lot of work on the neck as far as sculpting. They get it right where they need it to be, and out the door it goes. If they have to carve the neck down thinner, that's more work, and that takes more time, and that adds money to it. Put that neck pickup on. It's so juicy. But the pickups themselves, if you're interested in them, they're from a company called Guitar Heads. And I think they call them the 90 Solution or something like that. I don't remember. I got a video on my other channel all about them. I don't think they were $40 for the set. Proving that you don't have to spend good money to get a good guitar, Sure, the materials underneath this paint may not be the greatest quality. Same with the neck material. Whatever it may be, I honestly believe this is alder. It's a heavier wood. And I know it's not plywood. I've been underneath it a few times. In fact, I refinished it completely. So I know it was solid wood. It was just multiple pieces. This way. But yeah, there you go. That's what we're playing today. I didn't mean to spend the whole fucking hour talking about it, but what's on everyone's mind? It looks like we got 9 people in here. I can't be the only one chatting. It's an open chat. That means you guys can dictate what's going on. You are at the helm. Richie says, felt that bunch way over here. Right on, man. Yeah, there's nothing else going on in the chat. I know it's a weird time. I know people probably either at work or driving around or something like that. And it's probably not the easiest to chat along, but fucking chat. Say something. But I don't know. I was actually going to start the channel off with the normal, hey, if you'd like to support the channel, here are the best ways to do it. And I think I'll do that now. There's links down below. You can buy a t-shirt. I get a couple bucks for each one, nothing big. There's what else is down there? I guess that's it. You can buy my Thumb Buddies. You know what? My Etsy shop is about to get like filled again. I have everything ready to go, and as soon as the house calms down a little bit from the holidays, I'm going to set up like a little photo booth and take pictures of all my work, and try to get that up there and ready to rock and roll out the door. Now, whether or not it'll produce any fruit, I don't know, but that Etsy shop is always there. And there are going to be retro things on there, toys. There will be some little tabletop game things that I got that are just taking up space. And though some of them were given, some of them were purchased, some of them came in bundles. I'm grateful to have had them, but they've outlived their usefulness here. And I could use the extra cash. So I'm going to probably put some of that stuff up there too. So if there's any way you ever want to support me, the links down below are the best way. I mean, you could always do this. I mean, I'm not going to get anything from it, but I'll get from it. Trust me. Not monetarily speaking, or gift or anything. But if you want to donate to the Alzheimer's Association, you still can until January 1st. And then around March, I sign back up. I give you guys a couple of months, but I didn't really do much this year. You're working right now, buddy? Packing up an eBay order. Right on, dude. Right on. I'm glad your eBay's doing well. At least I'm going to assume it is, if you're packing up an order. That's a great feeling, isn't it? It's both terrifying and fun at the same time. Whenever I get that email, you got an Etsy order, I always get nervous. I can pack it up fine. I can do all the things that need to happen. And I've yet to have an issue with an order, except for one guy who didn't realize he was buying an STL file, even though it said it fucking everywhere in the ad, every fucking where in the ad. And I don't know. It's just I just get nervous when I send stuff out that people are gonna be like, "Fucking dude," whatever. But I've had nothing but positive feedback on my Etsy shop since day one. But I don't put too much up there too often. But that one incident, I know it shouldn't bother me as much as it does. It's just fun. Just hate listing. Yeah, you know what? I think that's what it is. I hate writing the listings. But once I do, it's good to go. But yeah, it was an older gentleman, I guess, and it was for the 3D printing files for the Amico physical product. It was a cradle for all 8 games, or whatever it was. However many there were. Was it 6 or 8? I don't know. It doesn't matter. I purchased them. I was actually thinking about that last night. Like, I just want to fucking play Moon Patrol, but I can't. What the fuck? Moon Patrol, damn it! Because that was fun. That demo was really fun. And I got to play it at the Boston event. But he purchased the file. And then, like, a week or two later, I got a message saying, "Hey, I never got my product." So I emailed him back saying, "Yeah, check your email. It's it'll come in file form. I don't actually send the file to you. It's an automatic download." And he's like, "Well, what am I supposed to do with that?" I'm like, "Well, you can put it into a 3D printer or pay someone to print it for you." It's clearly stated in the ad. And he starts going, "Well, I'm an old man, and what the fuck would I want to do with stuff like that?" And all. And he was just being a dick about it, though. And once you start being a dick, customer service goes out the window. And I'll tell you right now, if you're giving me money for something and I'm giving you something in return, that does not give you the right to be a douchebag. I honestly believe that customer service has turned into a cancer, where people have this fucking false sense of scumbag entitlement, and this is everywhere. That just because I'm handing you money, I could treat you like a fucking douchebag. And that's not the case with me. And people are like, "Well, you'll fail at business." And it's like, no. I had that exact policy with the sandwich shop I bought into in Arizona. I had a sign that said the customer's right until they're absolutely wrong. And my people were instructed that once people's voices started elevating, to walk away. Ignore them. Because once they start getting to that point over something as stupid as a tomato, then I don't really care what their problem is at that point. I ran a very successful sandwich shop, though. I had people who would come in every Friday and expect me to eat supper with them, like 5 or 6 families. I got invited to weddings. And I accrued a really wonderful community in that shop. And when people would come in new, for the most part, they were like, wow, this just has a different vibe to it. And I said, yeah, because we don't deal with bullshit in here. If you're going to come in here thinking you're someone special, and you could treat me and my help, who don't get paid enough for you and your fucking entitlement, then you're not welcome here, and I have no problem losing your dollar. No problem whatsoever. I would rather lose your $40 order that day and any ones after that than to sit there and when you walk in the door go, fuck, all right, everybody. And I remember when I worked for Friendly's years ago as a teenager, my very first legit job, there was this one lady that would come in with her 2 kids, and it didn't matter what you did. This lady always yelled. She always complained. It could be the most perfect fucking scenario. She let her kids run around and just cause a fucking problem. And Friendly's had this over-exaggerated policy of fucking literally blowing people to make them happy no matter what happens. And I remember one time I got grabbed by somebody. And I was expected to deal with that. So I did. So I did. And they tried to fire me for it. And I said, I'm not going to sit here and be abused because you want to sell a fucking ice cream cone. Fuck you. I'll take this all the way to the court. And the other guy ended up getting arrested. It was through a window. We had a window where we scoop ice cream and pay, you know. And the guy reached in and grabbed me. So I grabbed his head and smashed it on the stainless steel thing. I fucking smashed his nose. All of his top teeth. I cracked his jaw. It was lovely. Don't grab me. Don't grab me. And I didn't get arrested, but they did. And Friendly's tried to fire me, but they didn't. So, but I ran a really good shop, and people loved coming into it. They absolutely loved it. And I doubled our sales in less than 4 months. So when people come at me, talk about the whole fucking customer service thing, I've proven it. I've proven you don't have to fucking bend over backwards for douchebags. In fact, the more douchebags you make leave, the more good people come in. And I understand issues. I loved fixing problems. I hated that they happened, but you know what? There wasn't a perfect motherfucker in my shop, including me. So I was very sincere with wanting to make their experience better, obviously, because they gave me money. But there's a difference between being customer service oriented and putting up with douchebags. And that sign very clearly said, I don't deal with douchebags. And once people understood that, even the people that were problems in the past would still come in, but they had a different attitude. And we became very friendly with each other. So, but this old dude, I felt bad for him until he started trying to use his age as a weapon. I mean, he was really bad about it, like mean about it. So I'm like, look, Etsy's policy says for digital downloads, there's no refunds. What? Oh, you're leaving? All right, I love you. Have fun. Be careful out there. Okay, bye. So Etsy ended up refunding him anyway. And then, you know, not only did they take it from me, but they only, it's weird, there's a fee that Etsy takes. And they made me pay that still. So I lost my mind with Etsy. I'm like, you really, not only are you going to take away from me, which is fine, but you're still going to take your fee for me selling something that never got sold? And the guy has the product to begin with? Nope. But I ended up getting my 80 cents back. It was the principle of it. Howard, what's going on, buddy? Let me go back here. I'm yapping too much. I want you guys to chitter-chat. I'm on a roll, though, with listings. I'm OCD. Got to have the pictures and the logos Yeah, I'm kind of not minimalist. I'm mediumist. I take good pictures. I try to take as many as I can, but I don't sit there and hyper focus on it. I don't get the lights out and all that. I'll put the white background and put. I have a light up here and that light right there. I'm good. I'm good. Let's see. I'm a nice guy, but I can be a huge asshole if I want to fuck around. Everyone probably can. I can be a complete cocksucker. But, if you're going to be an asshole over something stupid, I keep saying the word tomato because there was one very specific incident that had happened on a New Year's Day. Speaking of friendlies again, I'll get into that here in a minute if I remember. But do not go into the bedroom, Cheryl says. One of my presents must be out. I wonder if it's a Les Paul Gold Top Standard. I got my Sprint, but I haven't fired it up yet. Dude, leave work. Stub your toe and tell him you're sick. Stub your toe, go home. Play your Sprint. Well, it's a pride thing for me, Chris. The older I get, the less I'll take shit from anyone. I never understood the whole bending over backwards bullshit. I understand fixing problems, and I understand being apologetic for it, sincerely. And I understand that people are imperfect. But I'm not going to fucking let you take advantage of that either. Fucking dudes would get loud over something as stupid as a tomato. Looks nice, Chris. Got the tree up. Yeah, it's been up for a while. I just kind of wanted you guys to see it today. And it's dark today because of the storm, so I had the light on. It looks nice. We're starting to get the presents underneath it and all that stuff. The Prince of Pal. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I appreciate the compliment there, Howard. I was working at a different Friendlies. I was the general manager. And I could not get a cook in to save my life. It didn't matter how much I paid. It was just one of those time periods where we just could not get help. So I was always behind the grill. And New Year's Day is a big breakfast day for at least Friendlies. I'm sure a lot of places there are, like IHOPs and all that. But Friendlies has some really great breakfast if you've never been to a Friendlies. But it's standing room only New Year's Day. I'm talking hour and a half wait. And people will do it, And of course, they'll get a little grumpy about it, mouthy. But what can you do? I'm not going to go to every table and be like, you have 20 minutes to eat and get the fuck out. Plus, I'm behind the grill, firing up all this food, right? And there was this one fucking guy. I guess he was just getting really loud. And as soon as he saw a family leave, he just dragged his family over there and sat down. And there was like a ton of people before him. So the waitress came over and said, the table's not even clean, Chris. What do I do? I said, let's go over there and clean the table. Let's get him in and get him out. There's too many people here. I'm sure they'll understand. It sounds like this guy's being a douchebag. Let's just, they're there. Fuck it. It's a battle we don't need right now. So this guy complained the whole fucking time, and all this shit, and started getting mouthy and was screaming at everybody. And at one point, I think he had gotten up and grabbed a carafe of coffee from another table because he wasn't getting his coffee quick enough. And it was at that point I had just fucking had it with this guy. So what I did was I grabbed him and I walked him out. There was more that happened in between. But I had to leave the grill with every table's order on the fucking grill to go deal with this guy. He was screaming at fucking waitresses, screaming at the other people sitting and eating. He was getting up, taking stuff from other people's stuff. Meanwhile, his wife and 2 children are fucking embarrassed. And I told them, I said, if you guys would like to stay and eat, it's on me. It's on me. I didn't mean to do that, but I'm not going to let that behavior stand in my fucking restaurant. And she's like, no, I totally understand. I'm so sorry. And I'm like, well, judging by his behavior, are you safe if you leave here right now? And she assured me they were. And the kids were like, oh, yeah, he's just like this when he goes out. And I'm like, all right. I said, you guys are free to either go or stay and eat. It's on me. Don't worry about it. And they ended up leaving, right? He forgot his fucking keys. He forgot his keys, and the wife didn't go back in to get it. She made him. So he came back in, and I came out, and he's like, I just forgot my keys. I'm so sorry. I mean, again, there was a lot more to it, and the reason I had to get physical with the dude. But I won't put up with it. I won't put up with stupidity. I will not, absolutely. And Colin, what's up, man? I miss Friendlies. They closed them all in my area. Mine, too. I used to have 2 in Melrose here, right? I had one in Stoneham, which is just literally the next town over, and then one on Route 1 in Saugus, which is the next town over, which had a drive-through, oddly enough. I don't know how Friendlies could do a drive-through unless they're just scooping cones and making fribbles, but all of them are gone. They're all gone. In fact, the building that used to be the one I worked at, my very first job, was torn down and turned into a bank. And the one I managed in this town called Woburn, which was a corporate training store. I trained other managers, you know. That one got torn down and turned into a Wendy's. And ironically, the one on Route 1 with the drive-thru is now a Wendy's. So I don't know if Wendy's just bought up all of Friendly's real estate, but I don't know, it is what it is. Nor'easter be raging. Yeah, it's kind of nuts out there today. It's like a deli, Friendlies. Oh, right on. Let's see. Or it's a restaurant. Okay, no, okay. I thought you were saying maybe you had one near you. No, it's a restaurant. Think of an ice cream shop, a really big ice cream shop that has Denny's-style food. They started off, a couple of brothers, borrowed some money from their father and started a little ice cream shop. You know, just slinging cones and ice cream sundaes. And they started selling hot dogs and hamburgers, and then the menu expanded. They turned into more of a lunch supper place than they did an ice cream joint. But the two entities were kind of separate in the building. You still had the giant soda fountain with all the ice cream, and it's tons of ice cream flavors. And they had their own thick shake called the Fribble, which wasn't made with ice cream. It was made with scoopable ice milk. A really thick substance. It literally is what it sounds like. And they used shots of syrup for flavor. And it gave it a really thick kind of thing. Now they use whatever, and they just call them all Fribbles. It's not the same. It doesn't taste the same. It's not as thick as it normally would have been back in the day. We got soft serve machines, and they started using that to make the Fribbles. And I was just like, no. Bring back the blocks of ice milk. What the fuck? That's what a Fribble is. Cats in Rhode Island would know them better as the Awful Awful. There's a competitor down there called Newport Creamery that's actually came up with the beverage before Friendlies did, I believe. And they called it the Awful Awful. Awful thick, awful good. And then Friendlies took and called theirs that and then got sued and then came up with the word Fribble. So, really good stuff. I used to get strawberry Fribbles, and before they would mix it, I'd have them chop up bananas and put it in there. So it'd be like a strawberry banana Fribble. So good. When I had my tonsils out, I lived off of that for a while. That and slush puppies with no syrup. The sugary ice. Loved it. I loved it, loved it, loved it. But, so Friendlies was just that kind of a place. And every month there would be a new special. The different section of the eating menu, you had the melt sandwiches were basically like sourdough, grilled cheeses with like meats and stuff in it, like a turkey sandwich. They had a veal one for a while that I liked, which is gone, of course. BLT one. It's just whatever, chicken tenders and whatever. Then they'd have their actual supper menu, and then they would have like munchies and stuff like that. And every month, a new special. You get a little happy ending Sunday. That's what they called it. Little one scoop Sunday free at the end of whatever meal style you had that week, that month, I should say. Friendlies used to be cool, man. Very conservative company. When I was managing the one in Woburn, as a manager, I got a pamphlet that had people with like mohawks and fucking metal all over their face and tattoos up their neck. It said, if your clients are starting to look like this, maybe your employees should too. And I remember looking at it, and I called my district manager. And I said, I just got the pamphlet about, the alternative lifestyle. That's what they called it. should I be hiring people like this? Because I get people all the time that have metal in their face and fucking weird haircuts and all kinds of shit. And they seem more than qualified for the job. Brian, what's up, buddy? What's up, man? Happy Creepy Friday to you as well. Thank you. Look at that. Look at that. The skulls, the trees, the pancakes, the waffles, burgers, and bacon. That's good stuff. That's all good stuff, and I love the wave. Thank you, man. Burger time. Yeah. It's McFucking had it. Just McFucking had it. But he said to me, he's like, no, they're just putting that out there so that we can say that we aren't as conservative as we used to be. But I won't allow you to hire anyone that has metal all over their face. I was like, what the fuck? I could get a cook. I could get a fucking cook in here. I got like 5 guys that applied. That because of Friendly's rules, I couldn't hire them. What the fuck? But I don't know what their policies are now. I haven't worked for them in decades. But it was, I will admit, it was a really fun first job. I learned a lot. I got the job right around when I was really dipping my ass into trouble. And we used to go there just to smoke butts, drink coffee, and whatever. We'd get a meal once in a while, but it was really just more of a hangout place, and we would waste a table for like 5 hours just hanging out, flirting with each other. And then one day, the manager, this guy named Ken, threw an apron at me while I was sitting there. And I'm like, what the fuck is this dude? And he's like, your mom and I just got off the phone. And we both agree that if you're going to sit here any longer, I'm either going to charge you rent or we're going to put a paycheck in your fucking wallet. But those are the only ways you're coming back in here. I'm like, you're really going to charge me rent if I come back and smoke butts and just drink coffee? He's like, absolutely. There'll be a fee. Because you're wasting that table and my waitresses can't make money. And I'm like, oh, well, you're a teenager. You don't know this shit. So I took the job. I had a good time. I had a really good time. Holy God. I won awards while working there. Got laid a lot there in the cooler. I found a dead body working for Friendly's. That was a fun day. There was one in Revere. Revere's was a very dense Italian population. So, of course, there was a lot of connected stuff going on up there. And I was at the end of my shift at the store I normally work at in Melrose. And my general manager came over to me and goes, hey, Chris, because he knew not only was I capable, but I was a nice enough guy to say, yeah, I'll take the extra money. He goes, the Revere store is fucked right now. The general manager never showed up. Their cook is delayed on a plane. They have one waitress and one trainee waitress, and that's it. And I'm going to go up there and help them. Can I have you, please? I'll do the grill side of things. You take care of the fountain. And we'll try to get this place going the best we can, right? So I'm like, okay. I'm sorry. The general manager quit. And the cook, he was delayed because of a plane or something like that. So I said, you know what, we'll do it. So I called a few people. I dig Italian chicks, you lucky bastard. I live with an Italian chick. She's a fucking nightmare. As much as I love that woman to death, every Italian chick I've been with has been a nightmare. But you know what? God damn, are they great women. Are they wonderful women. But you can't be a fucking pussy. Your skin better be thick. Because I don't cry around women. But Italian women have made me cry. So I'm like, all right, Ken, let's go. Let's get in your fucking RX-7. He loved his RX-7. Holy shit. And we went all the way to Revere, which is 2 towns over. And we get in there. The yogurt machine's leaking all over the floor. There was a hole in it. Nobody's working the soda fountain. Ice cream everywhere. The grill was a mess. The place was packed with people. And all we saw was this one waitress and her trainee, and the trainee was out on the floor, and the waitress was getting the food and the ice cream at the same time. So we came in like superheroes. We're here to help. And he got on the grill, and I got on the fountain, and we got it all taken care of. We made sure everybody was happy. I went to each table to make sure things were good. He went to each table. They understood the situation, so nobody was inherently mad about it. Everybody was frustrated, but we made it. You know, we even did like a sing-along with everybody, you know? And it turned out to be a really fun night, as stressful as it was. And then it calmed down. And then it calmed down. And people stopped coming in. And we finally got the place closed. And the trainee waitress came over to me and was like, all right, so what should we, you know? I said, I'll tell you what, since we just got fucking murdered here, why don't you go have a smoke break out on the back patio and take a few of the bags of trash with you so it looks like we're doing things, right? And the way this dumpster was, it was kind of like half in, half out of something. So we could throw things in there and the truck would drag it out and then lift it up and do its thing and then drag it back in. And I don't know why they had it like that. It was some security thing, I guess, at night. Because Revere wasn't known as it's not unsafe, but it wasn't the safest, you know, at night. So they didn't want people going out back at night to throw garbage away and shit. And it just got too much of a problem just to leave it in by the back door for the morning crew to throw out. So they did this thing, right? And the waitress leaves, and no sooner does she go outside, she comes fucking booking. Back through the restaurant, grabbed her purse, and out the fucking door she went. Everything about her body language said, you know what? Fuck this. I am done. And Ken and I are looking at each other like, really? Taking out the garbage is going to piss this chick off after everything she just went through? So I saw that there was still some trash bags. I grabbed some of the trash. I went out there, and as soon as I got out there, I found out why she left. There was an arm. There was somebody's arm hanging the dumpster. And what had happened was we were still in the middle of the Italian/the Irish War. The Angiulo crew was still around. There were still hits going on. I think we talked about the IHOP shooting in one of our more recent streams that happened in Saugus by a Papagino's. Maybe I was just talking to one of the kids about it, but regardless, it was one of those gangland hits, right? And apparently what happened was the dude didn't die right away. They popped him and threw him in the dumpster on the outside and then took off. But the guy was still alive and tried to climb out and then expired while climbing out. So the store turned into a fucking, the store turned into a crime scene after we cleaned it up and got everything, you know, straightened out. I got an extra $100 from Ken just for that alone. He was just like, look, he went into his wallet, pulled out $100, said, here, thank you. Thank you for being cool and helping out and keeping your head calm. And I'm like, I'm good under pressure. But yeah, there was a fucking dead body. The new waitress on her first day had enough. It took a stiff to make her say, this isn't for me. Fucking friendlies. Mexicans are too. Mexicans are a lot more subservient, though. I hate to say it that way. But when I was in the hospital, I was actually hanging out with this Puerto Rican guy. And we were talking about women. And he's like, yeah, Puerto Rican chicks, man, they'll fucking throw you down. And I'm like, I know. They'll square up like a man and they'll throw down like a man. And I was telling him about some of the Mexican ladies I dated when I was in Arizona. And he's like, I like Mexican ladies. They cook really well and all this. And I'm not trying to be derogatory. These are just generalizations. I know that everybody has their own personality. I'm not trying to pigeonhole anyone. But there are certain, and I witnessed it after he said it. I said, you know what, you're right. He goes, they're a little more submissive is the word he used. I walked into that girl's mom's house. Well, it was her house. Her mom lived there too. And I was sat down and I was waited on like a fucking king, a white boy, an Irish white boy from Boston in this traditional Mexican home. And I was treated like a fucking king by these women. Now, there were a few that were a little feistier than others, absolutely. But for the most part, I didn't experience that at all. Italian women, though. I've been hit by more Italian women than I have by anybody else. White chicks are from Fairmont, California, are hella hardcore, though. Right on, man. White chicks can go either way, man. White chicks tend to have a lot more entitlement, And they tend to, I don't know. Fucking white chicks. Irish chicks, that's where it's not at. My ex-wife is Irish. She was absolutely gorgeous. Smoke show of a body. Probably still does. As a matter of fact, when she came to bring me supper once at the prison, she was walking out and everyone was like, "You get to go home to that?" I'm like, "Yep." So they started calling me the King of Queens. If you understand that reference, then awesome. If not, whatever. But dude, really paid an arm and a leg for that tree meal. Yeah, he paid. He paid all right. He paid the ultimate price for hanging out with the wrong dickheads. I have no respect for any of that. I have no respect for... Once I grew up and started learning what it was really about... Because when I was growing up, it was expressed to me that it was about keeping the neighborhood safe. It was about not keeping us inclusive, because we weren't too fucked up about outside people coming in. But if outside people came in, we better figure out what your intentions are here and act accordingly. But it was always brought up to me that it was like a pride thing for the neighborhood. You know, this is our area, and we're not going to let bullshit happen. So we're going to make sure it's maintained and protected. But then I found out about the fucking extortion and the numbers and the murders and all the other shit that went along with it. And the simple fact that the one dude who said he was keeping drugs out of the neighborhood was the dickhead bringing them in, you know? So, at a young age, I thought it was cool. But then when I started learning what it was all about, I lost all respect for all organized anything. Whether it be mafia, whether it be, whatever other... Like there was the Irish mafia. We had that guy fucking Jimmy, Whitey Bulger, everyone calls him Jimmy. I wouldn't call them mafia because it's not Italian, but it was their stuff, you know. And then we had a couple of Cambodian gangs. We had a couple of Vietnamese gangs. We had, of course, the Italians and the Irish and all that. I got zero respect for any of it. Any of it. Whether it be from here to L.A., I understand it. But I have no respect for it. I can't. After the stuff I've seen, after the things I've read about, and everything, it's just awfulness, And unfortunately, we talked about this quite a bit the other day with prison reform. Unfortunately, people are born into it, and that's all they know. One generation didn't teach the next generation, or the one generation was left behind, pretty much. So they did their own thing, and that's where you start getting your gangs and stuff like that. But here it was different. Here it's been going on since the old country, That's the kind of shit we had around here, unless you went into town like Dorchester or Roxbury or Mattapan and Lynn. Revere. But Revere was mostly connected Italian guys. So, maybe she was a leprechaun. No, she was tall. My ex-wife. Gorgeous woman. Absolutely gorgeous woman. Wonderful woman. Wonderful woman. And I don't blame her. I do blame her, but I don't blame her. I was paying child support and paying for our family, and it was just getting too overwhelming. I paid a lot in child support. So what happened was I was paying for two families and just couldn't keep up. So it turned into a money thing, and that's fine. Turned into a money thing, an anger thing, and then she's doing very well for herself, and I'm proud of her. She did very well by my children, and that's all I can ask. That's all I can ask. She's good people. Good people. I didn't show my other... You didn't show your other what? Your other phrase? Come on, man. Anyone watch the Bloods and Crip doc? I did. You know what? Honestly, I started watching it, and I think that's where I actually learned about that program that Schwarzenegger started putting together, and then they abandoned. Because what was pictured in my mind was shown on there. Maybe those were just common news clips. But I have seen that, yes. It's been a long time. But thank you for posting it, man. I appreciate that. But I did watch it on YouTube with ads and stuff while I was working on something. My other guitar, as a matter of fact. But He dated an Irish woman. She was 4'9". Oh! I gotta go back here. Let's see, white chicks. Oh, he got whacked. A? Well, we don't say A here. That's a little more north. That's a whole nother country. I don't even think we even use the word whacked out here. I think that was more of a New York thing. or an Italian thing. We said clipped. Clipped or going down under to Australia. You know, can you get this guy a ticket? Can you give him a ticket to Australia? He needs to go under. All right. Down under. Well, let's just say I never had to worry about my ex from Fairmont. Right on, dude. Maybe she was a leprechaun. Anyone watch Bloods and Crips? I didn't show my other phrase. I said I dated an Irish lady. She was 4'9". She was tiny. She was from County May. I have no idea what the fuck you're trying to say there, Howard. I apologize. How the fuck does a retro channel talk about these things? I don't get it. I thought we would be talking about like Christmas toys and games. We're talking about fucking gangland hits at Friendlies. And me sitting there trying to say I know the world, you know? Like I've seen a thing or two, which I have. And nothing I say is obviously definitive. I mean, I'm just relating my experience and how I perceive my world. And that's how I perceived it. But interesting doc for sure, yeah. Diverse crowd, absolutely. Absolutely, and that's what makes things fun. The diversity of things. You know? Because if everything was the same, it'd be boring as fuck. I suppose you're right, Richie. The diverse crowd and open chat. You're 100% right. Even I said it in the title. I said it at the beginning. And now that we're at the end, my friends, I think I'm going to leave it at that. I don't need lunch or anything. I already had a cheesesteak with extra hots, as we say here. It's like this relish of hot peppers. I don't see them anywhere else in the country. You can buy them in the grocery store, but it's not the same. It's not the same. But they're just like this relish of hot peppers. Pretty good stuff. I could show it to you. I got it in the fridge, the leftover of it. But that's how we order it here. If you want hot peppers on something, you have to say with hots. Let me get the hots. I always get it on the side so I can literally scoop it into each bite. Instead of them just putting, sometimes they'll just slap it in one spot, you know? And they'll be like, that's good. Put the sandwich together and get it out. Get it out. I always get it on the side so I can manage each bite. Because there's nothing worse than biting a few bites and having like almost nothing. And then like the whole fucking spoonful that they put on there is in the next bite. And I like spicy food. But I want to be able to taste the food too, you know? So I always get that shit on the side. But I don't chimp on it. I don't go chintzy. I like the burn. I like the burn. But it has been a pleasant chat. It has been a pleasant chat. And I didn't expect to come on today. But I'm glad I was able to. I was glad I'm able to. I've been wanting to stream at night. And we made this weekend. Oh. I do want to continue that Master System game. I can't remember what it was called. Hold on. Let me, you're going to go away. I'm not going to see the chat here for a second. Let me go into, it was in Homebrews or Hacks? I think it was in Homebrews. Galactic Revenge, I think it was called. Hold on. Yep, Galactic Revenge. It was a San Diego Comic-Con game from 20-something or other. It was in the list. I didn't download it on purpose, so if someone's losing money on that, I apologize. Never, ever, ever once will that ever be my intent to try to sneak free games from people who work on stuff. As an artist, I can't respect that. So if I ever download a list that has games that may be like that, people tell me. Please tell me. And I'll make sure that I atone for it one way or the other. It's never intent. It's never in the intention. So, Richie says, good live, great chat. Hope everyone has a great day. Hit the like buttons. Yeah, do that. Like the button. Lick it. on the way out. And don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. You know what? There's really no door there. There's no door there. I'm just going to say that right now. No door. There's a doorway. But I don't like the door. Anyone can just walk on in. And they can prove their worth. But with that, guys, I'm going to take off. It's been fun. I genuinely appreciate each and every one of you. Fuck, I want to yawn so bad. I guess I didn't sleep enough last night, or my coffee's having the opposite effect. I don't fucking know, man. But either way, guys, I hope you're doing well. And until next time, take care. Creep it real. And bye-bye.